You want to learn some stuff? This I got that up just so people can see what's on my other screen. You see me looking over here, that's what I'm looking at. I'm doing, like, when you can't hear me, I'm doing stuff in my head called thinking, and I'm trying to memorize pathways like gluconeogenesis in plants. I have the option to memorize a few other things, but I'm choosing one that I actively work with since it'll be easier, since I'm used to looking at this pathway more often than not. So let me know if the music's too loud, because I can't tell. Because for me, I can turn it down, but I turned all the system sound down so that y'all wouldn't pick me up too much. Yeah, I just took a history exam and had an interesting experience at school today. Very interesting. Biochem was too long for you? Well, yeah. I don't blame you. Putting it behind you. It's a lot of shit. I don't know, I kind of look back on my experience in the greater G plus community. Well, what used to be the G plus community, the debate skeptic community, whatever people want to call it now, and how valuable biochemistry knowledge was perceived to be versus its actual utility. And I have to qualify that statement. I'm not saying that there's no utility in a biochem degree or knowledge, but as far as the community goes, there's really no utility. I'm gonna be honest with you. The people who understand this shit aren't really impressed by reciting pathways to stuff that you can learn at an undergrad level. Anybody could learn at an undergrad level, and the people who are impressed by it really don't understand it. If they understood it, they probably wouldn't be impressed by it. That's kind of it's a weird dynamic. It's a really weird dynamic, and that's not to really shit on anybody. It's just for perspective. I think it's pretty interesting, because I used to be the folks in that latter group, like, be impressed by bio. It's like it's really not. It's interesting. It is interesting, but I think we, at least in America, certain parts of America, have this fantasy about what education is, especially for certain topics like calculus and biochemistry. Calculus isn't hard. Like, that calculus is actually, and I don't want to call it an introductory mathematics, it's still a low-level mathematics. It's not one of the more difficult ones at all. It's really not. Like, you start to kind of get some difficulty with linear algebra, and then once you start moving into differential equations and multivariate calculus, stuff like that's when it kind of starts getting difficult. But you can talk, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, King Crocoduck actually has a pretty good video discussing the mathematics and physics, and he goes over the different levels of mathematics that you kind of need to master in order to have a mastery of that particular field. Which, even then, it comes down to practice. I wouldn't say there are few people that I know that are just innately in tune with whatever the field is that they have an interest in. There are very few people. People who are in tune with organic chemistry are freaks of nature, and they need to be tarred and feathered. But I enjoyed the lab. I thoroughly enjoyed organic chemistry lab. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed organic chemistry lab more than I enjoyed biochemistry lab. I'll be honest with you. But man, I dropped out of work, but for work an hour or so. Okay, you only work for an hour, man. What's going on? Because I saw you were on. I don't know if you. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be around, man. It is what it is. You got work. But I've been unironically listening to Creepshow because I actually enjoy her commentary. I'm starting to understand why people listen to me. Oh, Cole's got a strike. Oh man, who's doing that, man? It's not cool. It's not fucking cool. I like Cobes, but I've gotten off my King Cobra JSF kick. And I've been listening to Creepshow, and because I think she got written off as a drama merchant or whatever, pop culture, whatever, by people that nobody should probably listen to. But you know, and there's her channel is oddly similar to mine. Very fucking similar to mine. It's very like I didn't truly realize how much of a market there is for people doing commentary, and I identify with a lot of the stuff. She had said something yesterday, and it wasn't in the Trish, because I listened to the Trisha Paytas video today. It might have been in the I watched like 4 of her videos yesterday. But it might have been in the Onision video where she kind of like turns this mirror on herself and other creators. And there was something that I had said before that she had almost said verbatim. But I don't see why people even listen to me. Like, this is stupid. And it might have been something to that effect. But I think people hear that and they go, you know, that's just humble brag kind of, you know. But that's exactly how I feel. That is exactly how the fuck I feel. And I think as a content creator, I absolutely understand what she's getting at with that. Because I'm just saying the same shit that I would say to anybody, you know, on a topic. If you were to ask me about, you know, this person, that person. And, you know, she doesn't find herself as interesting as other people. Again, that's something I identify with absolutely. I know I can be entertaining, you know, when I want to be. But I don't think people send money to me to get shit like food and all this other kind of shit. Like I don't think I'm worth that, you know. That's kind of that plays into, you know, how I feel about other content creators. You know, I know I'm going to bring him up, like DSP, who think that he's fucking God's gift to the world, where, you know, you're supposed to just pay him for existing, like it's your job. Does she go topless? I'm pretty sure she does. She has a husband. Her name, I keep calling her Creepshow. Her name is Shannon. But no, she just gives commentary. So people, and this is actually a pretty interesting model. And if I wasn't so lazy, I might do this. But so her user base, her fan base, pretty much send her people, or I guess channels. And then she'll kind of dig into it. So they'll send her some links to this person. And then she'll, you know, sit and dig into kind of the history of where this person is. And then give you like a comprehensive, retelling of kind of certain events and kind of how she interprets it. But then she gives it from different perspectives. And I can respect that. It's not just, fuck this person. You know, they're obviously not very moral because they don't agree and say the same things that I say with her. But, you know, it's just giving you this giving you straight dick, as the old folks say, as the boomers would say, which I think is still hilarious that boomer is a slur now because that's a thing. But no, I thoroughly enjoy listening to her, as I think many of y'all enjoy listening to me. I'm just sitting here, I'm building a wall, if y'all didn't know what I'm doing, and I'm looking at a acetyl-CoA pathway for glucose neogenesis in plants. If you don't know what that is, this is how plants make their food. That's what that is. There's something that she says though that I listened to probably a handful of videos over the last few days, and she does self-satirization like me, but there's something that she says about herself that I don't agree with. She said, oh, I'm a dumbass, I'm just retarded, 8th grade education, that sort of thing. And I don't know her level of education. I don't actually know that much about her, but I don't think that she's a dumbass at all. I think she's actually very talented. And I kind of wince, when I hear her call herself a dumbass. I'm like, I don't think so. Then again, I don't know her, but I'm pretty good at spotting dumbasses. If I have to say that there's a talent that I have, is spotting dumbasses, and I don't think that she is one. But I mean, you can take my input with a grain of salt. But I don't think she is. She made a video today. You build that. Well, I'm building that. Trump will be so proud of this. I'm building a lot of walls. I'm putting machine guns on them and fire and all kind of shit. I'm gonna drag it and put it up here. But she had made a video. Shannon Creepshow made a video today actually, and it was on homelessness. And I said, I need to listen to this one, because there's a few reasons I need to listen to this video. Been there, done that. 1. 2, there's always a conflation every single time I see this shit with homelessness, with living on the streets. And it seems like it's obvious that the two are not synonymous, but sure enough, because I went and I checked the tweeters, because I noticed that she ends up retweeting my shit, and I'm like, I just wanted to reach out and just say, hey, you know what, I like this video. I didn't know she was gonna retweet my shit, but okay, I think that's a good thing. But I saw up underneath the retweet thing on there that there's a comment that somebody had put that they said, I'm gonna paraphrase according to G-Man, that you weren't homeless, you were living in your car. And I'm just like, that actually got under my skin. Like, that actually did, because I'm like, you like just a dumb motherfucker, just absolutely fucking stupid. Homeless means don't have a home. A car is not a domicile. Just because you can live and subsist in some form and get out of the elements to some degree in a car, and if you don't agree with me, go look up castle doctrines. Go look up what habitation and how habitation is defined under states that have any type of law that would be considered a castle doctrine. Look underneath the subsections on all the definitions. Cars are not considered habitation. I think in certain instances there are vehicles that could be, but those are iffy. But the point is that I see shit like that, and it's just like, come on, really? Are you serious? So you have to be living on the street in order to be homeless? No, you just have to not possess a home. It doesn't get any simpler than that. What's all these fucking messages? And that really pissed me off. I don't know who that fucking idiot is, but he needs to go fuck himself. The video's called Surviving Homelessness, I think episode 1. And so she's given tips. It's mostly female oriented because her husband didn't want to participate. That's okay. He should though. I think he should, Homelessness for women is a bit different than homelessness for men, and I've had to kind of reflect upon my attitude towards homelessness, because I've had to educate myself in the last few years as far as how society treats homeless. And there's a joke between me and Scientist Sam about the level of homelessness between his state and my state, and his area and my area. Homelessness in San Diego is some of the worst that I've ever seen in my life, and it is terrible. I have pictures of just how destitute people are. Actually, recently, the governor of California had to sign a rent control bill just to try and stem the tide of homelessness. It's a real issue, and it deserves attention, and not just, a like on a Facebook page or some bullshit like that. But it's Grumpy Knuckles. What's going on? Dragna, sorry about earlier. I was actually enjoying your review and excoriation of me earlier at work. Stomach was in knots and was amused by your rawness, but I didn't catch the email. Just dragnot@gmail.com. Dragnot@gmail.com. And I will try my best to try and check it every day. I will make a concerted effort to do so. There have been periods where G-Man has been homeless. Yes. I shouldn't laugh at that, but he deserves it. But so I think I left her comment under the video, or it might have been on some social media, something, I forget. But that, I'm not going to try and compare Hurricane Katrina and its aftermath to her having to live in her car, because I don't like comparing scenarios like that. If that makes sense to people, I don't think that. I think that when we end up having a lot of these conversations, people have the urge to try and relate to whoever is doing what. And so what you end up doing is inadvertently minimizing shit, because when you start that comparison, there's always something that, it always comes off, at least, as this is going to dwarf that. Even if it's something that you're offering that is less serious in scope, it kind of takes away from the seriousness of it. And I try to avoid that and caution other people too. But there was a period in time in my life where I literally didn't have a home, and I was living with some extended family. And so there's a 4-bedroom house and about 3.5 families living there. So okay, I'll look for your info, Grumpy. But I remember what that was like to feel like, and it's weird. You would think that just not having a house really wouldn't change you or change how you view yourself, but it does. It really does, and it hurts. There's not a way to describe it other than you feel like less of a person. You feel less deserving than the other people around you, even if they didn't work for shit, really didn't have much to do with it. And it's sad. Like it's not a healthy mentality to have. And some of the stuff that she was talking about, Shannon, Creepshow, it really struck a nerve, because it's half of it was avoiding people fucking with you. And when I say people fucking with you, people going out of their way, more or less, to show their contempt for you or to get you removed from a place just to seek warmth. There are people who freeze to death in Maryland, because every year there's a big frost that happens, lasts a little over a week, happens every year, and every year I was there, somebody homeless dies. Think about that for a second. You know it's coming. It doesn't take a year off. There's always a huge drop in temperature, freezing, ice everywhere, and somebody homeless dies. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's like everybody's priding themselves in what they can do and what they fucking got in. Because when I lived in, this was Northeast Maryland. This is Elkton, Maryland, that area. And I kind of got to see how people who had a little bit of money pride themselves in buying $6,000 refrigerators and washers and dryers and shit like that. And how do I know that? I fucking sold them to them. And it's like, you got a living human being that's going to freeze to death, and you're happy that you just got your wash and dryer. Now, that's not to say that people are obligated to who are the poor? Are they my poor? You're not obligated to. But for me, I know how that shit feels. I know what it's like feeling like that. Like you're less than human. You're less worthy of love and affection and all that shit. And just some of the stuff that Shannon was talking about, as far as, you know, making sure that you greet the folks at Planet Fitness, you know, so they're aware and they're attentive that, you know, yeah, you checked in properly, so they don't yank you out the fucking shower when you're butt ass naked. Like, just terrible things, you know, stuff that you would think that's like, come on, like you know the score, you know what's going on. Just coming in here, not bothering anybody, not harassing folks, not a crackhead. You're begging for money. You're just trying to clean yourself so you don't get an infection and die, you know. And it's crazy to me that, and I look, and she had to put a caveat, you know, or actually she put a caveat and she prefaced the video like, yeah, I know I talk about this a lot. Well, here's my 2 cents, Shannon, because actually I probably should have tagged you in this, but you know, don't apologize for nothing. If people tired of hearing about your life experiences, then they'll need to fucking click on the video, you know. If people tired of hearing I was a combat medic, then you know what, I'm gonna let you know I was a combat medic in the Army. Like, it is what it is. Too bad. But that means something. Like, that had a dramatic impact on your life. You don't apologize for that. Fuck that. Fuck anybody who tells you, no, you mentioned that too much. No, you go be homeless. You go through something life-saving, or excuse me, you go through something life-altering like that, and you tell me what impact that has on your life, and how often you're supposed to talk about it, and how you're supposed to reference it and mention it, right? And the frequency and all that bullshit. Like, come on. You're entertaining somebody's life. Even I know that. And I shadow on G-Man in his misery. But even I know that. But I think people get too wrapped up in themselves, and they don't realize that, yeah, there are people behind avatars. There are people who are you know, living, breathing, thinking agents. Yeah, I was a combat medic in the Army. You never heard that? What? Let me tell you. Did somebody donate? I heard something. Hold on. Somebody donated something. Gotta read this out. How are you doing right now? I'm a little aggravated, actually. I just got done with this exam. I'm a little aggravated that Creepshow. I keep calling her that, Shannon. I'm gonna keep until people recognize what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna go back and forth. That, you know, she had to make this. She didn't have to. She made this video describing it because, from what I understand, people wanted to hear more about her situation. And some jackass was writing comments underneath her video about she's not, you know, no, stop saying that you were homeless. You were living in your car. Like, come on. It's like, so if you were digitally penetrated rather than someone using a penis, is that considered not rape? Like, I mean, is there a fine line there that I'm missing? I don't know. Is it not sexual assault? Like, I don't get folks. I don't get folks. I just slowly start losing hope in humanity because people are fucking stupid. Because that was a stupid fucking comment. I don't even know what the guy's name was, or gal, I don't know. But it's just, I just have to wonder how many times they were dropped on their head as a child. I could chat with you about your experience, combat medicine, imagine probably. We'll go back. That's fine. No, you can ask me. I'm not shy about that sort of thing. As far as, there's certain stuff I won't talk about, as far as details on how missions were conducted and that sort of thing, like from op orders, I won't talk about that. But yeah, just in general, the difference between civilian medicine, combat medicine, by all means, because people do need to understand the difference between the two, because it's actually pretty grim once you think about it. Maynard Save says, where did you serve? Desert Storm here. A-10s. I served with the, actually during Desert Storm, they might have been deactivated. My unit was the 11th Armored Cav, the NTC, National Training Center, at Fort Irwin, California. Black Horse. Alpha Troop Assassins. That is my unit. Yeah, but I've had some interesting life experiences. Very interesting life experiences. I was thinking about just making a video, like specific. I think I might still do it. Just make a video specifically for Creepshow, aka Shannon. I don't know much about her husband, but just make something, a video towards them, because every so often I will make videos towards folks who are, you know, going through tough times or that sort of thing. You know, that's kind of what I do. This is what the atheists do. Because I learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure her and her husband have. They've learned quite a bit from that experience, because we understand now, they have an apartment, I believe, and someone feel free to correct me, but they are doing much better. Much better. Came from bedside nurse background, burn nurse, tertiary care hospital. Okay. Oh man, yeah, I've seen. Yeah. You don't have to thank me for my service. It's all right. I saw only a handful of burns, not too many, like minor. We can't say second degree anymore. You say, what is it? Full thickness, or so partial thickness burns. Excuse me. I have to make sure I get it right. Partial thickness. You don't say second degree or first degree or third degree. My favorite reparations. I can only take a few minutes of that debate. Me personally, I go back and forth on this. I am more in favor of certain economic opportunities related to education and I would more say education. So if the reparations came as like the GI Bill, so if there was a GI Bill for those who have been impacted by or whose families have been impacted by transatlantic slave trade or Jim Crow, that sort of thing, then that's what I'd be in favor of. The issue with that is that I still think people were wasted on art degrees. I'm not even gonna lie. I keep mentioning art degrees and stuff, but it's so as far as my rationale behind that is that if you're trying to break a cycle of like generational income disparity, I'm not sure how to describe it, but there's a issue with generational wealth not being passed down. Instead, you have debt being passed down, right? So a way to help remedy that is to put people into positions that would help them create generational wealth. Well, to do that, you need education, but you need money for the education. So that's kind of my rationale behind that. And again, I think people would end up just getting art degrees, right? That's not going to help break that cycle. But that's my personal proclivities, and so me telling other people what to do with that, like, because I know not everyone's going to go into biochemistry and shit like that. I'm not going to go into physics and engineering. I could if I really wanted to, but that sort of thing. Now, there's another issue of how do you determine who was actually impacted by this, that, and the other. That's a whole nother can of worms. I'm not too sure, but I've had conversations with folks on different ways to do that. And there's some interesting proposals, I'll say that. But I am right now in favor of, in the immediate future, of creating equity, taking down barriers that exist for, if barriers exist in certain areas for people of certain demographics, men, certain gay men, bisexuals, black, Latino, women, what have you. If the barriers exist, remove them. If there's a bias existing in some facet, remove it. That's my immediate concern right now. I just can't support giving up people who didn't personally suffer. Well, how do you determine that? How do you determine whose family is a product of some systemic discrimination or not? That's the question. You could say, oh yeah, sure, if you fit this label or you check this box, right, you are more than likely, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. That's the funniest experience as a combat medic. Oh, dude came to me with an issue. The way that he came out to me, and I say came out, I was playing Halo, and he calls me his, hey doc, I got this issue. I said, what's going on, man? I'm gonna call him Johnson. What's going on, Johnson? My dick's burning. What? The dick's burning? What are you talking about? He was pissing green. Somebody got him. And so he wanted me to do something. I'm like, I can't do nothing at all, man, over the phone. So I ended up referring him to the TMC and having my junior medics out in the field check him out. If you're 20, you never suffered. I'm not sure how you can go to that conclusion. Suffered in what way? I'm not sure. That doesn't tell me anything. Trying to figure out. Oh man. Yeah, we were given advice on what to avoid, and he ignored it. He absolutely ignored it. We were told who to mess with and who not to mess with, what place to go to and not to go to, and he was like, fuck it, and take that chance. And yeah, I say pissing green. He was leaking green discharge. Yeah, well, I'm not 20 years old, but as far as Jim Crow, that's why I mentioned generational disparities. If you're growing up in an area impacted by Jim Crow, then that would definitely have an impact on the income of your parents, and then ultimately on your ability to have a life that is as prosperous as somebody who wasn't raised in a family that were inhibited from, or precluded, I should say, from attending certain universities, having certain jobs. So you can say, okay, well, just the parents then. The parents can go back to school. Okay, well, we create a program that, hey, parents can pass that on to the kids. Easy. And same thing, if that's the, to the point why stop at Jim? Why not go back to Roman times? You can if you want to, sure. You gave reparations to the folks who were in internment camps for the World War II, for the Japanese. I mean, we set up an entire civilization for Jews after World War II with the Balfour Declaration. So I'm not like it. You could make an argument about, well, where does the buck stop? Well, it somehow managed to stop for other people receiving compensation. So I mean, there's not like there isn't a way to remedy this, because there's already been a precedent set by two separate events from two different groups of people. But then when it comes to people addressing the human rights violations for black people, then all of a sudden there's scoffing and questions. I'm not sure why that is. Should Spain? Absolutely, sure, absolutely. And then that's what I'm saying. It's just like, you know, if you want to, there's people who are given pardons, decades after they've been dead, and they've died ages ago before the people giving them pardons, for the crimes they committed. Like, there's no point in that. It's symbolic, but people still do it. So if it doesn't mean anything to you and me, then that's fine, but it does mean something for the folks who are impacted, such as that person's family members or descendants, which would be included in that. So, but I mean, it depends, because if on the one hand, we already know that this is already a thing, this is already a normal practice of there being compensation for human rights violations, why is it all of a sudden an issue when this particular demographic is now up to bat with the same thing that other people have received? That's kind of what we can disagree on what that's supposed to look like, and that's fine. I mean, it's whatever. But why is it always a question for this demographic? That's what I don't understand. Because you can't say that. Because if we're saying that nobody should ever receive any type of compensation or any type of restitution for human rights violations, then I think, then cool, then awesome, then nobody gets it. Then no Japanese, no Filipinos, Jews, nobody. Then sure, then that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But that's not the case. That's not reality at all. Somehow people found a way to compensate those who fit that description, who, in some way were impacted by those human rights violations. Somehow managed to do it magically. Don't know. But, the kind of conversations that I find more, I guess, edifying or just even interesting is, what would that look like? Like, what would that sort of thing look like? I don't know what's playing right now, honestly. Because I was playing, let me reload something. What is this? The hell is this? Let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay, I got rid of it, and now it's playing somewhere else. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. Like, what the hell is this? Welfare Section 8 are our reparations? No, negative. Not in a million years. No, I think that just it's if there needs to be an honest conversation about stuff, Thanks for your reply. I personally think it's a lot of chains to live with in the past that way, but who is to be made responsible? You keep talking about living people. Well, we always live in the past. That's why we celebrate 4th of July. That's why we celebrate, that's why we remember 9/11. Our entire country is built on the tradition of people who have been dead for hundreds of years. Again, this is the issue that I have. It's not just you, Joey. These type of comments are never made for any other scenario other than anytime it's time for black people to get rid of a lot of the nonsense that kind of holds them back. And I say that because let's forget 9/11. It was in the past. The people who perpetrated it are largely dead. Let's stop it. How popular would that be? In all honesty, how many people would go for that, right? The 4th of July has been cool. It's had a nice long run. Let's stop that. Why are we remembering the Holocaust? Why is there an entire museum in several places dedicated to something so heinous that everyone already knows about? Let's stop that. No one makes these arguments until it's time for black people to say, you know what? Hey, can this get some recognition? That's the only time people even talk about this stuff. And I only see these types of arguments when it's talking about black people. I've literally never heard anybody else say this in my entire life. And that's why I'm not surprised, but it's just interesting to me that that's the only time people say stuff like this. That's it. That's literally it. But, you know, if we're going to talk about living in the past, then cool. Let's address what's happened in the past and acknowledge the effect that it has on the future and then on the present. Because if we continue to make the same mistakes, and again, that's why I keep mentioning equity. That's why I keep mentioning barriers that preclude people from opportunities. Removing them would help move people forward. And that's why I'm focused on that and less so on things that may not be tenable in the near future. Because I'm a realist in that. I don't think that reparations would ever happen in my lifetime. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, whatever. I'm more interested in things that I can control immediately. I'm pretty sure there are people who are advocating for different types of reparations that won't cause too much inflation and address a myriad of issues that have been brought up, which some of them are very valid issues, some more than others. But I think that there's a tactful way to have the conversation without being just absolutely dismissive. Because that's largely why I don't even bother having the conversation, because most oftentimes there's just dismissiveness, and there's a weird double standard that gets created when the mere thought of anybody who looks like me or a little bit darker receives something, and there's just a weird sort of scenario around that, and I think that it is almost a disingenuous way to even have the conversation, but that's just the way it comes across. Well, no, so I'm addressing the issue of, well, people living in the past, because now, Joey, you're saying that, well, no one's being compensated. That wasn't your previous argument, right? Because now we're moving the goalpost again, because the issue was people just living in the past. And we've addressed that this entire country lives in the past with this memoriam of a myriad of events that have happened years, centuries ago. So if the issue was compensation, then that's a different conversation that we need to have. Well, what does that look like? Well, how do we do that? Now, I think that's a better conversation to have, but that's not what you had initially said. I mean, free education for all, having a stupid populace is bad for the country. I absolutely agree with you, but that makes it even more puzzling as to why you'd be against having that form of equity for people. Because if we're just saying, well, you know what, before we try and institute this policy of education for everyone, you know, let's try and address these issues here that have stemmed from demonstrable human rights violations, and let's put that at the forefront of this effort. And so, you know what, let's see how this works. Okay, cool. Here is where it works. Here's where it doesn't. Okay, so if we're going to roll this out to the population, then here's how it needs to happen, because, well, you know what, we've already tried it here in a small microcosm, and that's fair. That's fine. But again, I think that's a better conversation to have, though, because then there is no form in which these conversations end up coming out to be, okay, well, here's what can happen, here's what we need to avoid. It's always, well, you know what, black people should just kind of get over it because it's in the past. Well, I would agree if America actually practiced that as a whole, but we don't, You have a hard time understanding U.S. society. It's interesting. I'll say that. Reparations compensate. Yes, I understand that reparations is compensation. That the argument that you had made previously was that people were living in the past, and that's what I addressed. That's specifically that comment that I was addressing. If the issue overall is you don't want anyone to be compensated, then that's a different argument entirely that has nothing to do with people living in the past. That again, that's a separate argument. Because you can talk about the benefits and the costs of a particular form of compensation without regard to any ideological trappings, because the two aren't contingent upon one another. Where is this? I get these cows over here. Let's see. There we go. This. There we go. All right. It's Canadian with a different tone. It's just so mind-boggling. Well, people have certain perceptions of groups of people and of how things should look. And I think it's hard for folks to kind of disabuse themselves from what is foreign to them. And I say what's foreign to them because the vast majority of people live within kind of their own spheres. And so what is taken in is filtered through a variety of, let's say, platforms. And so my understanding of LGBTQ, if it were to only come from PragerU, I'd have a very interesting view of, LGBTQ folks. So I think a lot of it has to do with where you get your information from. And if you've actually genuinely sat down and had hard conversations to actually challenge the way that you perceive things. So I think that's a lot of it. You object to compensation. Okay. I'm not sure why you object to it when do you object to compensation for any group? Because if you object to compensation for Jews after World War II and Japanese Americans after their internment, then I guess you're being consistent. Then we just disagree then on what should happen after civil rights violations occur. I think that's just going to be the impasse there, if that is your position, which I don't know. Because I think the U.S. would have a less of an issue with that if they hadn't already set that precedent. Which that's probably the problem now, honestly. Saying that you're responsible for what X did in the past. I'm a first generation American. My family never owed benefit from slavery. Well, you know what? Neither did mine, as far as I know. I might not even benefit from compensation. I don't know. There might be a standard by which I don't. So, but Joey, I don't see how that says that you are responsible for it. I think you're putting a bit into this that probably does not already exist. Not sure who's made that claim, unless there's something that's attached to this hypothetical compensation that somehow makes you responsible for it. If there is, I'm not aware of it. Compensation comes to many more things than what people call money. Well, yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned educational benefits. I mean, you can do blood for blood. I mean, there can be a blood sacrifice. That's compensation too. I'm not sure how many people would be able to use the blood, but it's compensation. Maybe an arm here, leg there. You're living. I already said that if you suffer from Jim Crow, you deserve compensation. Okay, can that compensation be passed down to your children? As I brought this up before. Why isn't that a possibility that if you are among that which were affected, right? Can you not compensate those who were impacted? But if those people no longer exist, have that, whatever it is, passed down to a descendant. That's perfectly acceptable for me. Again, I did say that earlier. And I referenced the GI Bill because that's what you can do with the GI Bill, actually. You tax Amazon, where should fund it? Yeah. Well, that's a whole another can of worms. I was actually a little shocked that that what's his name? Jeff Bezos pays no taxes. I think that's his name, right? Jeff Bezos. I might be saying his name wrong. It might be wrong. Yeah. No, there was compensation for Japanese internment, but that's why I was asking. It was like, okay, well, how is it supposed to look? You just get some. I mean, in anything that you offer is still not going to be. It's still not going to make it better. Honestly, you're not in favor of giving Jewish descendants any compensation. Well, I think U.S. is already on the hook for that. We give billions of dollars to Israel a year, help maintain what's going on over there in Israel. That's definitely helping them out. Need to see. Which, you know what? Some fucked up shit happened to him. I'll take away Sam's money? I'll take away Sam's money. Only I can make anti-Semitic jokes here. Let me see. Missing stone. Not a stone. A lot of stone. Put some of that in here. Forgot what else I was talking. Actually, it's funny. What else was being talked about? Because I think I put something on Facebook or the Twitters or something on the Twitters. There was a talk today at the university. Let me find the actual email. Wings is live. So, let me find it, and I'll read it off. We start with Steve Comp. Yes, we should. I hope this email finds you doing well. We will be having our second roundtable discussion Tuesday the 19th at noon. The topic we'll be discussing is religion used to enslave black men or keep it separate or dormant? Lunch will be provided. That lunch was Popeyes, by the way. That was an interesting discussion. All the argument, we give them money. Money not to be nice. They are a big stick in the Middle East that make the weapon system better. Yes. We don't have to. We did help financially, though, with the, I'll say, absconding them to Palestine so that they could create Israel. Let's see, talking about replacing what is lost in a meaningful way: education, housing, healthcare. Ain't got to be blood on the dance floor. No, seriously, let's talk. Yeah, no, we can talk. I have no problem talking about it. How'd that talk go? No, you mentioned your review of Black Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, so I'm getting off. If y'all want to talk about the compensation thing, it's not really a topic that I find edifying, and you see why now. But so this was an interesting conversation. It did not go like I thought it would go. I don't know. I don't know. So there were about 10 of us in the room. Okay? About 10 guys. Only black guys. I know, only black people in the room. Tragedy. So the discussion started. So I'm going to have to make up some names. So there were 3 faculty members, and I will say 4 employees, 3 faculty members. excuse me, four faculty members, 5 employees. I forgot one. He stayed silent. A guy from South Africa. So everyone kind of went around, and I gave an introduction that was a little bit long, but basically people or students were business majors. We had one grad student. I think he said he was MIS. His degree was MIS. There's one computer science undergrad, one business undergrad. I think one economics undergrad or something. And so there was a few faculty members, and there was 2 faculty members who were going at it. I mean, they were familiar with each other. This was, and let me just say, if you have not been inside a black barbershop or know that type of dynamic, it's going to be hard for me to try and express to you the energy and the vernacular involved, because there was definitely some black barbershop vernacular going on there. Again, you watch any Eddie Murphy movie where he features a black barbershop. So so I could not record for that very reason, because it was, specifics that were said in there need to stay in there. I can give you the overview. It was a Muslim guy in there. There's definitely a Muslim guy in there. There was a few Christians, but the guy who organized it, I can't put my finger on what he believes specifically, and I wanted to poke and prod him a little bit more, and I think that he may be a Kemetic. And so I'm going to have to try and explain. I'm not too familiar with the Kemetic folks, but they have a lot. So anybody who listened to G Consciousness for any amount of time has kind of heard him mention Mot or Ra, these Egyptian figures and these Egyptian pharaohs and stuff like that. They're very, very closely tied to the religious beliefs and the culture of Egypt and Egyptians and that sort of Near East stuff. So it's interesting to kind of hear him challenge the religiosity of the other faculty member who was a Baptist, because the guy who I think may be Kemetic was formerly Pentecostal. There was a guy that had a PhD, the other faculty member, in sociology that was in the corner, and he is fairly irreligious. He was a guy from Philly, actually. He and I actually got to know each other a bit better, because he has a young assistant that he's trying to train up. So the conversation was very spirited. A Kemetic at a university sounds unlikely. Yeah, and you know what? It's funny you mentioned that, Happy Jesus. We actually talked about, because the faculty member who was a Christian, he did not know that we had Southern Baptists on campus. He knew that we had Jehovah's Witnesses, which one of the other faculty members didn't even know that, because he'd always walk past them, and he thought they were like student surveys, like he never really paid attention to them. So. But the faculty member who got his PhD in sociology, he said that our institution, our university, is a lot different than other universities he's been to, because you will have open forums of people from different belief systems challenging one another openly, and it's almost like people are kind of afraid to do it here, and I thought that was interesting. But it shouldn't be like that on a college campus. You should be able to openly discuss religious beliefs, because there's definitely religious organizations on campus. I see them all the time. Some of them are pretty weird, but I've come across a number of them. But they're less inclined to discuss what they believe openly, and they should be open to sharpening the swords, yes, but that's not everyone. Converse contender, you keep asking me that same question. I've answered like 3 times already, but it's interesting to me that he brought that up, and I'm going to have a further talk with him. Actually, he ended up talking to me in his office because I didn't know, because I'd seen him around campus. This PhD in sociology, and I didn't know what he did. I didn't know his actual job. I just thought he was I thought he was just a faculty member. I thought he taught. So he actually works in one of the administrative offices for Title IX and all that kind of stuff. But his assistant too, he's training up to be a respectable young man. I was listening to their dynamic, and I could kind of tell that he's kind of frustrated with his assistant because he's a young guy, like he's in his early 20s, and he has a lot of habits. I'll say that he is not. You never got an answer. Okay, so I did answer you, right? Right. I actually said that I did like John Henrik Clarke, and that as far as Thomas Sowell, I'm familiar with some of the stuff that he has criticized about people of color receiving benefits as far as affirmative action, and his criticism about affirmative action and how it's been, or how not necessarily been as efficacious as it's supposedly or has been purported to be. Outside of that, I'm not too certain what you're referencing, right? So if you have something specific that you want me to address, then you should ask me a specific question rather than just referencing people's names and asking me just to, I guess, talk about them, because I'm not sure what you're referring to outside of a very small context. Can you make an intro video for our Israelite camp sharpening sword? Are you from the same group that I helped moderate that discussion with, Gary, on GCon's channel the other day? Are you from from the group Sharpening Swords? Because I think I recognize you. I want to say I recognize you. To make an intro video. I'm not sure what your intro video, like what exactly you want, so I wouldn't mind, but I don't do well with vagaries, as you can tell. I'm not a huge fan of vagaries. They don't really add anything to conversations. It just gets frustrating because you have to play a guessing game, and so people overtly tell you kind of what they're getting at, and it's a waste of time. Absolute waste of time. That's military in me. Just like vagary there's nothing there to work with. So, but I think I'm missing some pieces up there. Missing some pieces. I'm missing my other cow too. God damn it. I gotta go to my other cow. Yeah, you're okay. So you are from that group, okay? So I'm not sure what you're looking for. I'm not sure if that'll actually having me. I do video. I've submitted videos to the Geek Room for their projects and their video collages. So you have to be very specific on what you want, and I can record it while I'm in the lab tomorrow, or wait till I get home. Whichever. Let's see. Fuck. I left my cows, man. It's just, I had all my stuff in my cows and left them. Just outright left them. God damn it. Fucking Burger King. I didn't name these cows, by the way. Somebody else did. I'm just using them. They're beasts of burden. I would use these humanoids standing here, but they can't carry as much as a cow. God damn it. Yeah, that doesn't tell. Converse Contend, that doesn't tell me anything. I'm familiar with kind of his background, but I don't that doesn't tell me specifically what you want from me. You know, I understand he's part of the black intelligentsia, but so was Marcus Garvey, right? So was W.B. Du Bois. Like, but that, and I understand why he's not well liked. Some of the stuff he says is fairly inflammatory, or can be perceived to be. But I'm less inclined to you know disregard someone because they may disagree with me. I've not actually taken the time to sit down and read through many of his books or anything like that. So I can't really say. I do know his position on that, but I'm not sure how it's substantiated. I would definitely be interested if there was a discussion, and I'm not really a huge fan of listening to debates anymore, but an open discussion where people in his field, his peers, are discussing, what's efficacious and what is not. Because for all I know, he could just be, mouth flapping coon, just says shit because you know what, white folks will give money. Because there seems to be a lot of them too. So y'all know who I'm referencing. I'm openly referencing what's his face. It's amazing. God damn it. I just forgot his name. Jesse Lee Peterson. There we go. Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm not impressed. And you don't gotta put your number out there like that. You don't have to do that. Just email's fine. Email's fine. It's fine. But I'm just gonna just be outright. I don't agree with people because, I'm somehow so magically more intelligent than other people that all of a sudden I must be on this side of the coin or I must agree with this. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you right now that's not the type of, if you're new here, I go where the evidence leads me, not where this cool person says this or that or that popular I don't care. I don't give a shit. Hold on. Link up, just shoot me an email, man. I'm on Discord as well. You can. There have been glints of dyslexia in my history. It'd be so nice if you could confirm successfully. I emailed you. Yeah. Let me actually look right now. Yeah, I know Jesse Lee Peterson is not an intellectual. No, I was just referencing coons who get uplifted by folks because people, for some reason, think that. Hold on. I think my father-in-law, not my father, my stepfather may have gotten hacked on Facebook. Have a good recipe for cheddar biscuits? Yeah, go get the box and make it. Go get the box of cheddar biscuits they sell them at Walmart. But I'm honestly just too lazy, so I just go, Oh my god, what the fuck is this? No. Yeah, I think he got hacked. He doesn't type like that. He doesn't type at all. Oh shit! I was supposed to check to see if he sent me this email. My bad. See, I forgot that quick. I forgot that doggone quick. I try to turn this off, man, because people blow my shit up. Hold on. know you were from Texas, Grumpy. Not know that. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, Grumpy info. Okay. All right. Uh, uh, okay. Yeah, so I got your email. Yeah, I need less people to have my phone number, so it's not that I don't trust. I just there's too many people hit me up at all times of night anyway, as is. So that's why I'm not, doing that. But just rent a food truck at gmail.com, man. What's going on? shoot me an email, Gary, at dragnot at gmail.com so I can say it. Or just hit me up on Discord, Dragnot. Uh, yeah, so see Dark Matter's post. Yeah, I did see Dark Matter's post about no more cartoons. I've reached out to Dark Matter, and I'm gonna try to talk to him privately about something to see what we can do. I may have an idea, but I'm not too sure. So we're gonna see about that. I'm gonna see if I can help Dark Matter save his cartoons. Um, I'm not too interested in books by people that folks like. I'm interested in data. Like if I can just get a study to demonstrate X, Y, and Z, then that's what I'm after. I'm not, people writing books is cool. Ken Ham has books. Everybody who writes for AIG has books. That's not impressive to me. Anybody can put something in a book, but having actual data is that's really. Yeah, no, well, Joey, that's funny you mentioned. So there are people who have my phone number because I have given it to them. And yes, G-Man does have my phone number. Well, I was feeling very gracious. That was a big mistake. But there are certain people, yeah, who in the community that have my phone number. The majority of the people who have it, I've met them in real life. So it's not just, oh, here it is, here and there. I just, through happenstance, some people have it. One person has it through my own negligence, but the vast majority of people, I've given it to them because, hey, I'm in California, so I need your phone number so we can keep in contact while we're here. We see where we're going for dinner. That's like Sam the scientist has my phone number, obviously. Kevin and Jackie have my phone number. Pure View has my phone number. Obviously, Xavier has my phone number. Folks like that. Deidre, Holy Spackle has my phone number. But yeah, but then so does G-Man. So take that for what it's worth. Take that for what it's worth. Yeah. So thought I was gonna be throwing out some stuff cooking today, but the wife has a hankering for what did she say? Waffle House. So gonna probably have to be getting dressed here next 10-15 minutes to go to Waffle House because she wants Waffle House. Yeah. So if you're wondering where y'all super chat money goes and shit like that, there you go. Feeding Xavier, feeding her. That's exactly where the fuck it goes. You want your receipts? I will get you receipts. That's just, yeah. But yeah, no, Joey, I agree with you actually on that. It's there's some people should have it, but some people you meet, and it's honestly, Joey, it's a toss up. It's really a toss up. I'm going to be completely honest with you because there have been people I've met on here, thought I knew, but turns out they were putting on a front. They put on a front for their viewers, but then they put on a front when they're around me, and then they they turn into somebody else when I'm not around. If you catch my drift, so that has happened, but I haven't had any issues from that. But I make sure that I have some of their personal information too, just in case. So there's that. What would be the best way to have a meaningful conversation without you feeling compromised? I'm not sure what you mean by compromise. Do you know Jersey at all? No. I'm assuming there's some subtext there, Joey. I'm going to presume there's some subtext. Digits boo? Nah, Buck, not on the first date. Not on the first date, sir. I mean, you don't have to look hard to find my phone number. You really don't. I'm going to change it, but you don't have to look hard. And the only real thing is that there's people hit me up a lot on Facebook, on my phone, Twitter, all that shit. So I'm trying to limit how often people hit me up privately. It's not that I don't like people hit me up generally. Hey, I'm going through something in life right now. I heard you mention this 2.5 years ago, and you seem to know how to handle it, which I don't know what made them think that, but okay. And so yeah, I'll chat with them privately about that. That's fine. But other stuff is just like it's not that I'm complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining that people hit me up privately. It's just almost always that everybody who has that access to me always hits me up at the same time. Like it's always 4 to 5 people at the same damn time. And I don't know what it is, but man, and they live in different time zones too. That's what's crazy. So it's like, that's odd. I mean, I get not wanting to exchange real info, but I just mean in a respectful, metered way, make you comfortable. If you want to have a Skype conversation, man, or a Discord conversations, private, or was it Zoom? Would that be better? Because that's fine. I understand people don't want to be live and talk about stuff. Like I get it. Most of the meaningful conversations I've had with folks, with Ozzy, with Alex Malpass, with a whole bunch of people have been off air. So I get I get that. I'm not opposed to having that conversation that I was supposed to have with Suter. Could have been off air if he wanted it, but he didn't want it, so it's on him. I'm not, I don't gain any satisfaction from excoriating people live. It's just too busy for that. Too busy for all that. You make time to talk to me. You ain't too busy. I'm talking on the phone the same way you talk on Skype. You don't have time. People hitting you up at all. Yeah, time. Yeah. No, yeah. If I can find time to build my wall, I can find time to talk to people. So, because I can't do like some folks, and I feel. I'm not sure how I want to feel. I'm not sure how I want to feel about other content creators because some of them actually do charge for their time. I don't know, because I'm a bit iffy because you think about the stuff that you can provide as far as like a Patreon reward and shit like that, and my buddy Larry actually does that. Like you can have a private Skype call with him for like an hour as one of his Patreon rewards, but he works full time and he does other stuff, so I can see how his time is literally valuable, but it's like I don't know. I don't know. Meant like you meant. Okay, yeah. It's too much. My buddy Larry, he does do that. He makes a Patreon reward talking to him, and it helps. There's a utility. There's a utility in doing that because you can kind of control the stem or the tide. You can stem the tide of people just hitting you up randomly when you create that separation. But at the same time, I don't think that people should necessarily pay for my time, if that makes sense, right? So that's why I'm not. That's why you like if you look on my Patreon, you don't see stuff like that. It's like, if there's a video you want me to make, yeah, that's definitely, yeah. So you pay money, you get a video. So that's essentially what most of the rewards are anyway. But just having that ability to kind of keep people at arm's length and control how much people have access to you, and that way you can go about your business at your leisure. And I think it's might be a better way to go about things. I don't know. What do you think about Sagar saying in his new book that he became a Christian after being raised by a hardcore atheist and being a scientist? I'm sure it doesn't surprise you. No, that doesn't surprise me at all. But people say others become Christian because they're ignorant of the science. No, I think that's a trope, honestly. I think that's a trope. And that's a trope because, and let me just say, I believe Sagar, I'm pretty sure people disagree that actually happened. One of the people who taught me science, actually, that's how he became a Christian, because he was an atheist, and so he saw the majesty of the living world, and that's what helped convert him. Is that a terrible reason to adopt an entire belief system? Yeah, but that's what he says, and I believe him. I don't think that's false at all. You heard the stories of Andrew Dice Clay. That thing sounds familiar. Publicly giving out his number. That doesn't surprise me. I think that's probably what I heard too, but that name sounds really familiar. Isn't he a celebrity? Something? I don't know. But yeah, so it happens to be that a lot of people who are evangelicals are scientifically illiterate. And so that's kind of where that trope comes from, is that, oh, you're a Christian because you're scientifically literate. Because you will have evangelicals say stuff like, oh, if it wasn't for the fact that evolution is false, then I wouldn't be a Christian. When people say stuff like that, then yeah, you could come to that conclusion, right? It follows from what they've set up. But I think they're being disingenuous. I don't think that's no one went, oh, evolution's false. Jesus exists and died for me. That's not how that works. No one does that. People already have the belief, whether they were born into it or whether they had an experience. And then after the fact, they go, okay, this is why, I've always had issues with this theory, because it's not real and because of Jesus and yada yada. That's what happens. And I think that's a more honest position for people to take, because I don't buy that shit at all. From all the conversations I've had with people, listen to folks like Neffy, they put that show on, right, to try and reaffirm other Christians in their anti-science positions. But no, Sagar can he very well, may have been a convert, and a part of that could have definitely been his experience and his exposure to the natural world. And my opinion, terrible reason, but Jesus loved, fuck you, Reese. This, in my opinion, is a terrible reason, but that's what people use. That's just them. The raunchy comedy was attacked me and then fell off in the earth. Oof. That's probably where I heard him from. Comedy skits. Did he hang out with Lewis Black? It might have been. I might have heard him with Lewis Black. No, it's somebody else I'm thinking of. It's somebody else. Can't imagine all the dick pics he got. Giving out his number. Which, hey, everyone needs a good dick pic every so often, right? Every so often. want to build this wall. Actually, hey, what thoughts on the Lord and Savior Cthulhu? That's what I think. CNTNH apostrophe U space LTZNTUA, whatever that language is that him and his congregation speak. All hail Cthulhu, the mighty one, the ever-living, the devourer, the one with many faces. Actually, I think that's another Lovecraftian horror. Am I having addiction to this game? You might be right. You might be right. I'm just building a wall. That's all y'all see me do is build walls. Shit. Okay, well, that's not working. I know what I'm gonna do. Let's see who's on. Look at Tad. Where's Tatted at? Y'all wanna go find Tatted Atheist? We'll do that. I forgot what else I named this hangout thing, video, whatever. Oh no! Oh, I knew eventually. Start talking about economics. Xavier was gonna pop in. Go for it, Xavier. Go for it. Nothing wrong with wow. Wow. Your luck is run out, Dynacat. Your position on the top of that leaderboard will soon change. Through no fault of my own. First of all, I talked about an old Earth, fish and birds having common ancestors. I mean, Christian believe. If you're not literalist text, well, there's some atheists converse that understand that Ellen G. White was like one of the people who popularized that biblical literalism. That early church fathers, especially like first and second century Christians, didn't have this common notion of biblical literalism that we see today. Some atheists know that, some don't. I don't know. It's just, again, it comes down to education. Me with Jose Gonzalez, you see, shit. I need to expand this. Hold on. You have to see his stream for the day. It was an all-time great flat Earth show. Shit show. I've seen, I've been around when the flat Earth shit was first popping off. Wasn't impressed by it, and it's just it got tired real quick for me. Absolutely quick, man. I don't doubt it though. I've talked to a number of flat earthers even before they started getting popular, and it doesn't seem like they've gotten much better. There's just an endless pit of stupidity that exists within that group. But there's a weird psychological framework that I've noticed with almost every flat earther I've spoken to, and I think you'll agree with this. Have you met a flat earther that only believed in one conspiracy theory? Think about that for a second. Have you met one that just thought that, the earth is flat and there are people covering it up? And that's it. Outside of that, just nothing. You can't find one. Nathan Thomas, you total idiot. I'm not familiar with him. Not at all. Drag Bean, yes, I'm building that wall. It's almost always this notion that I have secret knowledge, and you too can have secret knowledge too if you believe the bullshit that I believe. That's almost always the case. They possess something that everyone else can have, but you're not a part of the super secret squirrel club to have their special knowledge. All of them are like that I've seen. I might be wrong. But it's sort of like young Earth creationists. Sort of. Sort of. But not really. Your dad believes in ancient aliens. A lot of people, a lot of older folks I've noticed, like my stepfather's generation, a lot of them actually do believe in that shit. It is actually really funny. Like they don't, they're not going to go out there preaching it, but a lot of them actually believe it. It's actually really funny. Yeah, it's not flat, but people do believe in the Matrix. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that, Joey. I don't know, man. Oh, that one. I don't know. Sam is saying that check Facebook. I think of the Austrian. Let me see. This motherfucker always talking about Tyrone Magnus, the reaction channel. Didn't he make a video like this already? Yeah, I think my stepfather got hacked because he's asking me about if I've heard about the federal government grant this year, and so I'm asking him about his daughter from his other wife. I'm gonna see how he responds. Oh my. Sam, why the fuck you send this to me? Are you serious, dude? Are you serious? You really? Really? Man. Well, I was going to have sex with my wife tonight. Thanks. Anyway. Okay. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. You need to send that to our good friend Mike Acetyl-CoA. Jesus. What? Shit. Who was it? Gary from Sharpening Swords. Did y'all ever tell me what y'all wanted me to do for this intro? Send me an email. Tell me something. Definitely send to an email, but I didn't read it if you put it on there. I need just. Oh man. They sound. No. They're sending me mess. I think they hacked his Facebook. He doesn't use Facebook, but he's typing shit to me. Get this shit up. It's a dick pic. No, he didn't send me a dick pic. He sent me a video of somebody's bitch titties. Anyway, I lost my entire train of thought. I'm trying to see what Tatted is doing. Oh, Tatted left. Okay, well. He went and parked his ship. The hell did you go? Just gonna leave your dog here. Leave your woof. What's going on, woof? Big ass thing. So, do you think it's fair that some flat earthers are the way they are because they had some honest questions, or others' behavior made them go deeper in conspiracy? I have no sympathy for flat earthers who galvanize themselves in a belief that is unsubstantiated, even if people have just shit on them. Like I don't have sympathy, because a part of me deconverting with people criticizing and mocking what I believe. And if I can change my mind and others can change their minds from, a not so delicate touch, then they can too, Yeah, I love me some big old titties too, Joey, but the ones that I saw you don't want, trust me. Uh, oh man, I don't want any Waffle House now. I'm gonna have to pay for it, but I don't want it. Just, ugh. Whose ship over there is Schooner of the Shithead? And they spelled schooner wrong. I'll just parking these illiterate boats in my dock. What's going on? Where is my ship anyway? Oh, there it is. The Dreadnought. There, it's way over there. Okay. You know what? I got a better idea. Let me teleport there. Actually, where did Tatted go? Like, he teleported away. Oh, he got offline. Okay. Could you infer correlation between economic disparity and conspiracy theorist beliefs? If one exists, I'm not aware of it. There may be a correlation there. I don't know if there's any causal mechanism, but who knows? Do you think Pine Creek is just a professional heartstring puller? I've not listened to enough Pine Creek Doug to make that assessment. He may be. I don't know. I honestly have only listened to a bit of some of his discussions, so don't know. You can make an impassioned speech that's absolutely logical, that doesn't rely on fallacious logic. This week in the Flat Earth International Conference in Dallas. Oh, really? Oh, man. Joey, do they have people from all around the globe? The U.S. says minimum. My doc, no, it's not. No, it is not. Words are hard. Yes. Words is hard. Pew is on. Pew, you gonna build that wall? Build a wall. All right, folks. Time to... Oops. We're going to take the ship out for a little bit so you can see something other than me building a wall. Oof. Okay. Get a little bit of sound. Or not. Don't need sound. Let me see. Check Tinder terrorists. Alright. Hope there's no more of your bullshit. This bitch got a weed eater? What is going on here? Vampire Academy. Oh, she's cute. Austria. Exotic. Oh, I can't scroll. Definitely very petite. I'm looking at Scientist Sam's matches. I'm about to get off. Actually, yeah, I'm not going to take the boat out because she's home. She's hungry. Just put it back in dock. Oh, she's fit. She likes animals. I'm getting this. I kind of want to be goth vibe, but also I'm struggling between goth and Valley Girl. Okay, the one pic with the guitar, she looks normal. The FBI picture, I'm not too sure what that's supposed to be. Oh, that's a pretty neat picture. Yeah, the weed. She's getting her inner redneck on. Why is she using a weed eater on a lawn? Like in the middle of the lawn. I don't get that. Watching the stream earlier and grumpy. Grumpy guy definitely sounded like Jill. He became suspicious when he did the hee hee yeah thing, the same cadence as Jill when he's caught on the bullshit. I was playing it back and forth, and I don't think it would sound like. Huh? I'm live, by the way.
Okay, you about done? Because I'm ready to go.
You ready to go get food? Okay.
And that's not important.
I told everybody about to go. I'll put this shit back in the dock. It's time to go. Get some Waffle House. Because that's what we do. We just come home and eat Waffle House. I'm going to take my time. When I want to go somewhere, you take your time. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to pop some tags. Love Big Titty Goss. If you love Big Titty Goss, then go on Reddit and there's a whole... Got your feelings hurt by an 8-year-old girl? Man, she can't wipe her ass straight, man. What's going on? When you think about doctorate degrees that are given in some humanity programs where 90% of the work goes uncited. If there is, I'm not a huge fan of honorary doctorate degrees. Either you did the work to earn an actual PhD, or you didn't. I don't do honorary. Don't mean shit to me at all. Nothing. Haven't heard ukulele in a while. Well, that's because she's not been playing it. She's been busy. Busy. She actually has work. She can't sit and be a YouTube content creator. Oh, so I forgot to add this part. So I went to that black male roundtable talk thing. I went with the intention of hurting people's feelings, but I ended up not hurting too many people. People is oddly open, and it's refreshing. But I ended up talking to one of the faculty members afterwards, and he offered me a job. He was that impressed with, you know. No, I don't think it's gonna be a job like that. Might be minimum wage or something. It's fine. I don't know. The way he was talking, it might be a little bit more, but I don't know. So can't do wage. Wage. So you too good for that? The peasants can't buy your lobster rolls.
No type of degree.
Okay. No type of degrees. You got you a little associate's degree. Now you think you somebody. Now you think you somebody.
You is smart.
You is smart. You is special. Was that from The Color Purple?
I don't know what the hell that's from. I just see
I think that's Color Purple.
That's not Purple. No, some other.
I have no idea.
Top black stereotype.
Ken Hovind does not have a PhD. If you've not read Kent Hovind's thesis, you need to actually sit down. Go find it's online. Go find it and read it. It's hilarious. That's not in any way, shape, or form how you write a PhD thesis. In any way, shape, or form. Right now I'm on your time, so if I ever become a viable conversation in private or whatever format, if you like, I'm okay. Really appreciate your reticence. All right. So, I'm gonna be studying for this exam tonight and all throughout tomorrow. I have the exam tomorrow later, but Friday we're doing Magic Sandwich Show. Before Magic Sandwich Show, I'll have time, and probably a little bit after. Want Red Lobster? We too lazy to get dressed. Want Red Lobster too. If I say that too loud, she's gonna want Red Lobster. Fuck you, Xavier. Now I want Red Lobster. She just had Waffle House the other day because I ordered something for her. Harness the power of abuela. Abuelita, excuse me, not abuela, abuelita. What's the difference between abuelita and abuela? What's the difference between that? I don't know the difference. Damn Afro-Latinos. Yeah, I mean, it's a biochemistry exam, so it is what it is. There's a curve. It's biochemistry, so. I'm not sure what I'm doing because I have the lab tomorrow. So I'm not sure because I still need to work on reading biochemical data. I'm not sure. It comes out on an Excel sheet. Shut up, Sam. It comes out on an Excel sheet, and it's just numbers. The numbers correspond with the level of the ability for light to penetrate whatever's in there. So it's supposed to show you whatever fraction of interactions is in there is fucking this substrate interacting with this particular enzyme or whether it's not, So, but the numbers will depend on a number of factors, and so I'm just trying to connect the abuelita as diminutive and considered affection. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, go cure cancer. Yeah. Yeah. No. This is for this research is for plants. It's for plants. The cancer stuff comes later. That I have to actually take some extra courses outside of my degree, in order to get where I'm trying to go. Yeah, on the PEG Excel. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm aware. Tell Mrs. D to get a real manual weight counter. I will. Yes, metaphysical substrates. That's definitely what we're working with. Like the substrate that I was using the other day was like NADH. So the enzyme is it pretty much like deprotonates NADH. So it's dehydrogenase. So this motherfucker Xavier is talking about fucking Red Lobster, but he's too lazy to get up and go. You just
I'm
had.
not trying to sit there and wait for him to procrastinate what he wants to do in life. I have to
Okay.
wake up in the morning. So
You gotta wait. Okay,
it
well it's 6:00. It's like
It's 6:30.
it's 6. Oh my bad.
You're still live.
I'm about to end this. So Xavier, you can meet us, huh? So you want me to ask Xavier if he has money for it? Xavier, just meet us at Red Lobster. Just get dressed and just meet us at Red Lobster. See, I'm tired.
I have $20 budget. We're over here talking about fucking Red Lobster.
I'm paying you. I'm gonna be paying for it anyway. So I don't know why you talk about money.
So I just realized that Thanksgiving is next week. So
Thanksgiving is next week. That's right. That's right. And I gotta spend $150 on y'all, $100 on Xavier, and just try and get enough food for everybody. So that's okay. We're in Central Time, Reese. Yeah, I'm not getting I'm just getting my cheddar biscuits. I'm getting a small thing of shrimp fettuccine Alfredo and my lobster biscuit. I'm gonna call it night. That's it. Cause I ate 2 pieces of I ate 2 pieces of Popeye's chicken today. That's it. All that chicken went to waste. Huh? Okay, he's getting ready. Tell that boy to get ready. Or is Lance here?
No, he's not here.
Oh, okay. Tell him to get ready. All right. He's in the bathroom. Well, I'm going to take my time. You can't walk. You can. This is my house. I do what I want. My house. This is my house. Okay. I am in a lab coat pretending to be somebody. Was that? I'm trying to did he really think that was gonna be an insult? That's the kind of shit that G-Man says to me. Like, really? Come on. Let me name this person. What is her name right now? Old Joe the Mighty. Let's name him Scientist Sam. Who's texting me? Text me when you leave. Okay. No, because anytime I give him a time, we end up being 20 minutes late, so that's why.
The baby's in the bathroom.
Okay. Change name. We're gonna name him Scientist Sam. Scientist Sam. Alright. I understand. Let's see, this person is Calico Joan Black. It's a tall bitch. All right, so you will be, I don't know. What should I name this person? I'm trying. What tall woman done? China, the wrestler. There we go. This is bawdy and silver. Oof. Oof. Okay, I know I'm gonna name you. Big ugly bitch. Okay, there we go. All right. So we got our crew back here. Big ugly bitch. We got China the wrestler and Scientist Sam. They're all ready to go. So we're gonna go blow some shit up. What's all these messages? Oh, this dude is live. Oh, it's an intro. Okay, so he did send this to me. He did a video, G-Man, when he threatened you, and it was amazing. I think it's something with some Israelite rap beats, anything. I'm going to have to read that a little bit later when I have something to eat. Are you in timeout? No, Dinah? Dinah, I think you broke the... I think you broke the bot. All that betting. That's what I think. I'm going to have to probably reset the bot because Dinah broke it. Again. Oh, I should name him Sailor Sam. Damn it. I'll name him. I should name him. I'm going to blow some shit up. It's going to be close. Oh, I'm going way too fast. I'm way too fast. Whoop. There we go. Big ugly bitch is my spirit animal. There you go. She's rough, but she's good. She's good at what she does. Let's see if we can find some stuff. It should be pirate ships, right? Like right out here. I can blow up pretty easily. Or I can get my shit destroyed. That could work too. But who knows? Wait, leave the boat of ISIS what? That's way too many things to put together. There's way too many things. I'll leave the bot as is and whatnot. Oh, okay, I see what okay. Leave the bot as is. You just saying that because you winning. You know, you on the leaderboard? Bet you on the leaderboard. That's why. That's probably why you said that. I'm surprised there are no pirate ships. There's just none. Oh, you know what shirt I wore to school today? I'm important on the internet. I wore that shirt today. I always like wearing that shirt. It's funny. I think I wore it to Florida too. I'm important on the internet. Oh god. It's not broken, just stole $3,000. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Have better luck. I don't control that bot. All I can do is reset it. Well, that's not necessarily true. I can control the bot to some degree. I could influence the wins, and I could influence not who wins. I could influence the multipliers of who wins, and I can change. I can like add points and take away points from people. I can do that, and change the name of the points. So I can actually influence that. That was an inaccurate statement, but I can't force somebody to win all the time. No, I can't do that. Wouldn't even do that. Like Tribe Called Quest. I've listened to a few of the songs. Not a huge fan, but I'll listen to their music. Checked in the terrorists. Oh my god. That Austrian chick wasn't too bad, but He says you can't get past the face. The girl is an art student, moved to Munich. Oh, Griffith's a son of a bitch. That's funny. uh, that's, yeah. An art student moved to Munich. Well, the joke's there, folks. The joke's there. Don't know what to tell you. Yeah, she's not bad, Sam. She's not bad. Just, Actually, I think I like her better. I like her proportions better.
You're just biased because she's Latino.
No, I like her proportions better. It has nothing to do with her being Latino. I'm not against Austrian chicks. First, I was looking at her two personalities the other day, and I liked them. That's just. I'm just saying. I mean, she's at the chick that.
Same reaction if it was a sister. Nope.
Yes, I would have actually. Yes, I would have. Look, if they're playing Tinder terrorists in Florida and San Diego, right? The pickings are slim.
Oh, excuse me. You would have if she was light skinned.
No, I'm not a no ma'am.
That's brown girls getting no love.
You lucky people can't hear what you're saying.
You don't.
You over there whispering behind me.
No love.
You're just hearing one side of the conversation.
No love for the sisters.
No love for the sisters. So why I married your ass then? That's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. Thank you. That's what I thought. Cause your parents, I didn't even fucking know your parents. I still don't know. If I cared about that, we wouldn't have moved from Maryland. I know that much.
That part of Maryland is racist.
Yeah, that you know what, and they can stay there. 'Cause I'm not
Well, they
I'm not the one.
She has a job there.
Yeah, everybody has a choice.
Not like she said.
Everybody has a choice.
Move to Maryland. It was either move to Maryland or drive 10 hours back and forth from New Jersey.
Hey, you still got a choice. Supposed to.
You gonna pay for her gas?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any pirate ships. I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. Turn this bad boy around. Oh man. I was supposed to read some. Yeah, and Sam, that's my issue. That those particular proportions. That's my issue. Pretty sure she's a nice gal. Pretty sure. Oh, look, a pirate ship. Let me lower my sails. Finna fuck you up. About to. Yeah. Come on. A little closer. Come on. Just a little closer. Just a wee bit closer. Oh, fuck you. That was short. I'm about tired of you talking shit behind me. Ooh, level 43. Goddamn. That's not good. Fire at him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Hold on. Do you just ignore the spiritual references when you listen to Bob Marley or common people like that? Yeah. Pretty much. Like, I understand people, I'm not playing this. I understand people talk about that shit, but it's the same way that I listen to my son talk about shit in Roblox. Like, I understand what he's saying. I get what he's getting across to me, but it's still bullshit, right? So, it's like, You can understand what's going on without all the metaphysical trappings of the magic and shit that they know that we know at least to more than likely not exist. I'll say that because I want to be careful how I phrase that. It is. I'm about sick of you talking shit behind me. I'm about to throw something at you, but it you take it with a grain of salt, just like most things. That's kind of what it comes down to. It really doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, you hear your grandparents talk about the stuff that they did. You know what? It can be pretty impactful for you to listen to how they muse about the difficulties of life during the 50s and 60s. But even with that, you take that with a grain of salt because you can't really relate to that or relate to them on that level. You just kind of accept it for what it is. You understand the words in the sentence and how they make sense. So, the Force in Star Wars too. Yeah, there you go. You might as well, since George Lucas kind of fucked it up for everybody. So, I would too. I always ignore George Lucas. He's a bad man. Yeah, yes, that's definitely what she said. Time to broadside him. Oof. Fire. Yeah. Ooh. What's up with you not making sound effects? Huh? Oof. 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 Oof.
That sounds like
Ooh.
horrible Asian porn.
Ooh. It does not sound like horrible Asian porn. Get the hell out of Dodge. Get him. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. That's from Swamp People. Shoot him, Clip. Shoot him. How can I make potassium nitrate easily? I'm not going to tell you how to do that because there's only a few uses for homemade potassium nitrate that I can think of. I'll say that. That I will not repeat on stream. So there you go. You can contact Sigma Aldridge and get you some. There we go. Okay, Sil has a propeller wash. I have no idea what that is, but I'm pretty sure it's wrong. I'm not a sailor guy. This technically is a brigantine ship. That's about all I know about it. And it has cannons on it that go pew 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 pew. My cannons do go pew. You can't hear them, but they're going pew pew pew. And I'm not getting my black ass in that water because there's sharks in there. So, homemade black powder. Yeah. That's why. So, a cute trick in chemistry is that if it contains nitrogen, it more than likely can explode. Pro tip. If it's a nitrogen compound, it probably can explode in some way, shape, or form. Or combust. Oh, look at this shit. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, legendary. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I need to put these up. Oh, I'm gonna put this. Okay. That was good. That was a good haul. See a guy from Home Depot behind a bunch of fertilizer. Don't ask any questions. None whatsoever. Like, oh, it's a big old garden. Yep, sure does. Yep. Oh, look at this dolphin. Turn it. There we go. All right. No, they will eat you. You get in that water, they will eat you. They will find a way. The game literally spawns one as soon as you get in the water. So, you make your own black powder and a rock polisher. There you go. School for chemistry. No, I'm in school for biology, but I do biochemistry research in a lab. We're researching the we're researching basically alternative pathway for a particular type of plant. In this case, Medicago trunculata, to produce 3ES. It's a genus and species of a plant. You can look it up. To produce an alternative pathway, right? To produce certain essential amino acids like isoleucine, threonine, and methionine. And you need those in order to make the proteins that are in your body. So the issue with the way that plants already make that is that this enzyme that does this already is subject to something called a negative feedback loop. And what that means is that the product of this pathway, which would be the methionine in this case, ends up inhibiting the entire pathway. So it shuts it off at a certain point. So in order to enrich a plant with more of these amino acids, you need that pathway to not be shut off. So what we're trying to do is to try and elucidate this particular pathway in such a way that it starts at the second step rather than starting at the first step with what was normally aspartate, which is another amino acid. It'll start at a compound called aspartyl semialdehyde, and that aspartyl semialdehyde, guess what? That you can produce a whole bunch of that. Put that through the pathway, create all the other nice little amino acids, and the pathway won't be subject to the same type of feedback inhibition because, hey, guess what? There's already a pathway like that exists. There's already a monofunctional dehydrogenase enzyme that already does that has shown a great deal of resistance to methionine. So there you go. Yeah, I need some rants with that word salad. So you see why I don't talk about a lot of this stuff. So when people complain that Drags is talking about drama, when I start talking about biochemistry, people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So it's hard for me I have to break down each part of that in order to get people to kind of understand what's going on. Overall, it's really not that difficult, but if you're not familiar with some of the stuff already, it's hard to kind of play catch up and for me to explain that. So I'm still working on how to condense a lot of that down. Yeah, and all an aldehyde it's carbon that's double bound to an oxygen and then hydrogen. That's an aldehyde group. And so when you have a molecule that has an aldehyde attached to it, you're always going to see that carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen arrangement in that way. TB50 is a great healing peptide. No, I've not heard of TB500. What is that? A great healing peptide? No. The brush up my biochem, it sounds really. It's pretty interesting. If there's already research into the difference between semialdehyde dehydrogenases. They typically come in two forms. a monofunctional and a bifunctional, format, or whatever you want to say, or conformation, whatever. And the one that is monofunctional typically is pretty resistant to that negative feedback. It's pretty resistant to the products that would lead to that. And that's kind of what we're using as the basis for this research, is that since we know this thing actually does exist in some form in other plants, well, hypothetically, it possibly exists in this plant too. So let's see if we can find some isoform of this gene. And actually, I should say because we're talking about enzymes. So find an isozyme of this semialdehyde dehydrogenase and see what we can do from there. Because if we can find it, identify it, get it to express itself, and then possibly put it into a staple crop for a country that's suffering from PEM, that's protein energy malnutrition, then you could possibly help, whatever, this group is to, not get that disorder from being malnourished. So that's the overall goal there with that. And so what I do is I go in the lab and I mix chemicals and I cut cells. Yeah, I made myself laugh. So yes, that's what I do. I put on a lab coat and I pretend I'm important, and I make up big words just to confuse people, because I made up everything. All of that I made up. Ha ha, I got you. Ha ha, none of that's real. Sounds like true empiricism jargon bombing, except Drag knows what he's talking about. I miss True's nonsense, simple days. He was actually in G-Man's stream the other day, and he was trying to talk about B17, and I could tell that he had been listening to me and Doc Savage and others talk about it, because he had mentioned some pretty specific shit that I had mentioned in some of my conversations with G-Man and other people, but he's still watching. He's around. He's just watching now. And part of me wanted to go in to hang out and just really ask him if he understood anything about the organic chemistry involved in that product. I was like, I already know how that's going to turn out. It's not even fair at this point. It's sad. Like, it's sad. At one point, and I will admit this, at one point, the ATP mayonnaise thing got me. And I was like, you know what? I'm not sure I'm supposed to deal with this. After about, I don't know, having... I've had like 8 semesters of chemistry now. That's just fucking stupid. Absolutely fucking stupid. I can tell you unequivocally, just it is absolutely asinine. If I were to say some shit like that to my PI, if I were to repeat the shit that True says, I get kicked out the goddamn lab. I'm just being real with you. Like where let me show y'all something. Matter of fact, yeah, have him get ready. I'm throwing. Okay, y'all go get in the car. I'll be there in a second. Shit, where is? Here, put this back in the refrigerator too, because I was thawing this out. Where is my notebook? You were throwing shit. Where's my notebook? Oh, here it is. Okay, I had to find this. So, just so you guys see the kind of stuff that I actually have to read, right? Not these stupid ass. Y'all remember those articles that True Empiricism used to link to folks? So a part of what I do in the lab is we sit down and we talk about the next step of the process. So recently he had mentioned to me that we want to try and I'm going to try and condense this the best way I can, but we're going to work backwards. I know that sounds like non-intuitive to folks, but if we can get the process that we want to work in one way to work in reverse, that can kind of help as confirmation with what we want to find at this step. And I'm being very vague in order to just kind of keep everybody going. But basically, this is what we were looking at here. But y'all like, well, Drag, what the fuck is that? This is an actual fucking study where people have done this shit before, right? This is the compartments of organic acids in the synthesis of asparagine and homoserine in pea roots. That's what this is. And so you can ask Xavier and Pew. Like I brought this shit with me because I was highlighting shit and reading it on the way to the conference, right? Because that's the kind of shit that I actually have to look at when I'm not here fucking around playing pirates and talking to stupid people. But this is the shit, because this is this, like, he can mention, he'll mention something to me, and he goes, oh, let me go print you out something. Like, I got another goddamn study I gotta read. God damn it. So that folder has gotten quite thick, because every time we sit down and we chat, and he's talking to me like I'm his peer, right? He's talking to me like I know this shit, like I'm fucking biochemist, and he's asking me what my opinion is on what I think the next step. I'm like, the fuck I look like, man? I'm just here. I'm just playing with chemicals. I'm cutting cells. I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know the fuck I'm doing. So no, it's fun to play scientist. It's fun to pretend with reagents that are literally hundreds of dollars. It costs the university hundreds of dollars. I'm playing pretend, but okay. I guess I'll play pretend when I have the letters of recommendation, but that's fine. Oops, did I say that loud? But yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. I'll probably do it again next semester. I'll probably still work on this project. I do want to shift to another lab because I'm trying to get biochemistry experience, and this really wasn't my intention. I got in the lab, so I was like, okay, I'll challenge myself. But it works out for what I want to go into, which I'll talk about that at another date, way later. But how many lowball rolls am I gonna win? But cells are atheists. Did you know that if the sharks eat you in game, they end up in physical jail? No, I didn't know that. Thank you. I did not know that. So I'm going to work in this lab for another semester so I can get a grasp of doing biochemistry and just kind of general wet lab work. And what that looks like is simply there are a certain set of skills and techniques that you're going to use, like in almost every lab, like doing PCR, right? That every lab does PCR. Well, most every lab does PCR. That's just a very basic skill that you learn. One of the first things people going through biology right now, like the intro stuff, are doing PCR. Just like you pretend you don't live with your mama and you have a pretend wife and child and you're 5'4". Yeah, exactly. All that's true. But so certain stuff like that, certain skills like PCR and running assays. I can't tell you how many assays I've ran now. Like, I've done so many of them. I'm asked out on assays. Those are skills that you need if you're going to work in an actual lab. And so you need to be competent enough to go, here's the Invitrogen protocol to run a colorimetric assay. Go do it. So I need to know how to take the stock solutions and calculate the particular concentration, which is usually 1x. So it'll be a 10x concentration of this reagent. I need to calculate how much I need. And so I might need to do some more research on the level of, well, as far as biochemistry, the concentration of this substrate per well in the 96 well plate that I'm going to be doing an assay in. So that's something else that you got to kind of figure out. It takes a little bit of math, a little bit of sitting down, right? But they shouldn't have to hold my hand and do that. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm learning in the lab, and that I'm going to be, teaching other people that and how to do Microsoft Paint. But Gilligan on Twitter 2 minutes ago, haters spending their days trying to smear me while I'm at a hangout with international supermodels and astrophysicists. Is that what he's doing? That's cool, man. That's awesome. International supermodels and my Canadian girlfriend. Banging bitches and learning shit. Maybe if he's lucky, he can suck Lawrence Krause's dick. Gain some of that fucking intelligence, man. You suck it long enough, you'll get a bachelor's degree and finish it. Man, just maybe one day. That's cute. Man, only if he actually went to school and actually did something with himself. But anyway, we need to get on that genome blood. On that genome blood. Huh? Y'all's grammar sucks. Yeah, I'm probably still gonna make a video toward Creepshow, cause she said some real shit, some stuff that I identify with. So I identified. No DSP today. Yeah. A part of me wants to start doing reviews of Amber Lynn Reed, but I don't know. I don't know.
How about you do a review on how to get a job?
How about you do a review on how to suck this dick? How about that? Over there laughing, talking. Go get in the car. What's she waiting for? Go get in the car. What's she waiting? I'm gonna take me 2 seconds to put on a shirt. You over here coloring. What are you, 6?
Yes.
Fuck out of here. See you stepping on shit. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Oh man. Yo. If G-Man and True had a baby boy, you think they would let him grow out that beautiful hair like True? Yeah. That child would have a 6 head. Leave True alone? Okay. I'm just. You would have a good. You'd have a decent set of hair. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm going to be involved in some more stuff at this university. It looks like, because I start. Well, that's the good thing about going to some of these events is that I'm just going. Honestly, I was just going to be an asshole. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I just wanted to hurt some people's feelings. And I was, inadvertently hurt people's feelings by challenging some of their beliefs. But these guys were pretty open to challenge, and I like that. Like, I was genuinely surprised. And I guess I'm so used to sensitive ass people on the internet that I tend to forget that there are real people who can sit down and you can have a conversation with them. So it's just refreshing. And so in the midst of that, I end up making several new connections, and then one of them is like, I'm gonna get you a job. I was like, okay, cool, that's awesome. I was like, if you got I was a bit hesitant because I don't know what I'm signing up for, but he was gonna get with me, so I got to check my emails and see what he's sending my way. So, but easiest job I ever get in my life. Dragon. Yeah, we gotta go get some Red Lobsters. Xavier's coming too, so. We're getting some Red Lobster. I gotta text them that we're heading out. All right. So folks who sent me emails, I will get back with y'all. I got Magic Sandwich Show this weekend. This weekend is Friday, so I'll probably just wait till this weekend to talk to folks. I'll probably talk to Grumpy Knuckles privately, and then if he wants to talk to folks publicly, then it's on him. I understand some people feel better off air. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I look forward to. I'm not sure. I might do a Dior video tomorrow.